Joining us now for the big close-up interview, border czar Tom Homan. Tom, thanks for joining us tonight. Obviously, a fast-moving case. Abrego Garcia's lawyer says the government is, quote, weaponizing the immigration system against him. My question is, what's your response to accusations that you're weaponizing the immigration system, and will, in fact, Abrego Garcia soon be heading to Uganda?
He is absolutely going to be deported from this country. He's not going to walk the streets of this nation. So he can enjoy the little time he has with his family. And for the person who says we're not going to separate family, well, his family can go with him because he's leaving. He's going to be deported. Look, he's a criminal alien. He's a member of MS-13, which is now a designated terrorist. He's a wife beater. He's a human trafficker. He's been indicted for human trafficking and alien smuggling. He's a bad person. He's not going to be here. He's been order removed twice. Order removed by 2 different federal judges. He's going to leave this country in the very near future, and his family can go with him. I can't see who was talking before the sound bites, but whoever said we're taking advantage of broken immigration system, what do they do? What do those people do the last 4 years about this broken immigration system? They let 10.5 million people cross that border. Sex trafficking women and children, all-time high. Overdose deaths of fentanyl, all-time high. Number of terrorists, all-time high. They didn't do anything to fix it. President Trump is keeping his promise to American people to enforce the law, and that's what we're doing. We're making this country safer every day by removing people like Abrego Garcia.
Hey, just to follow up, Tom, so just to be clear, is Abrego Garcia headed to Uganda? The lawyers apparently telling the AP that DHS notified on Friday at 4 p.m. that they may remove him to Uganda in 72 hours. Can you confirm that?
Look, Uganda's on the table. We'll see. I mean, DOJ's, our immigration attorneys and the judges, they're all in negotiations, and we'll see what happens. But Uganda's on the table. We have an agreement with them. It's on the table, absolutely.
Hey, Tom, it's Nicole. 1,700 National Guardsmen across 19 states are getting ready to help DHS crack down on crime and also the illegal immigration. ICE has already ramped up enforcement in D.C. with a new arsenal of SUVs, while the border wall is getting a new coat of paint to keep the illegals off. Now, Secretary Noem is reportedly pushing for a fleet of planes to help with these deportations. But the left is continuing to stand in the way of immigration enforcement as an Obama-appointed judge ruled against Trump's efforts to withhold funding from sanctuary jurisdictions. So here's my question for you, Tom. How is the administration, how are they fighting this lawfare, first of all?
Look, we got a great DOG. We got Pam Bondi head of that, and she's taking it to court. Now, these radical judges are going to continue to stop or try to stop President Trump from, doing what he promised American people, making this country safe again, removing, the public safety threats, the national security threats who are illegally in the United States. They're not going to stop us from doing this. They're going to put roadblocks up. We're going to take them to court. We'll appeal the decisions, and we'll win the decisions because we are enforcing the law. That's what the other side isn't talking about. We're not making this up. We're enforcing the laws enacted by Congress. ICE is out there every day enforcing the laws enacted by Congress, using the money that Congress gave them to do this, upholding the oaths they took. So we're going to continue doing this, and then President Trump's going to he's going to succeed. We're going to have the safest nation we've ever seen by the time his presidency ends. We are arresting thousands of public safety threats and national security threats every week across this country, and by spreading the National Guard, helping DHS on the streets, it's going to happen that much quicker.
Real quick, Tom, the question I have for you, though, is we're talking about the paint job for the border wall. We're talking about a new fleet of airplanes, but the border control, obviously all the progress is doing incredible things. We're at an all-time low of border crossings, but what are we going to do to expand support the existing Border Patrol agents to the next administration? Because while border crossings may be down right now under Trump, we need to make sure that we have a lasting Border Patrol and immigration policy for the next time someone else is in the White House.
And that's exactly why President Trump pressed Congress very hard, along with myself and others like Steve Miller, to pass a big, beautiful bill. There's a lot of money in that to continue building that wall, continue building infrastructure, which includes technology within that wall, which includes the technology within the port of entries. So, legal traffic can come through the port of entries quicker and more efficient while we're still catching the majority of the drugs. And the end game is to catch all the drugs. So all the technology and the big, beautiful bill is going to stay. We're building the infrastructure that's going to last for decades. And we're also not only hiring 10,000 ICE officers, we're hiring more Border Patrol agents. So together with the new agents on the ground, the new technology, the new border barriers, we have a sustained presence on the border that's going to last for decades.
Tom, it's Lisa Booth. It's great to see you. I want to get your take on this, sir. So a transgender anti-ICE rioter was arrested on Wednesday in San Francisco and charged with assault and destruction of federal property. This individual allegedly slashed the tires of government vehicles with a knife and threatened ICE agents, reportedly telling one, quote, "I'm going to F you up after I go after your family, and I'm going to stab you." This individual is already back on the streets. Tom, how dangerous is it to be an ICE agent in today's America?
Well, look, it's always been dangerous to be an ICE agent. I mean, I was one for many years. But, with all the hateful rhetoric right now, the attacks on ICE is up over 1,000%. And a lot of the hateful rhetoric from members of Congress, again, members of Congress who wrote a law that needs to be enforced. So, again, if you don't like what ICE is doing, go protest Congress. We're not making this up. We're enforcing laws enacted by Congress that Congress funds us to enforce. We're out there enforcing immigration orders by federal judges. So ICE is out there looking for public safety threats and national security threats. I looked at the numbers just this morning. 70% of everybody we're arresting is a criminal. Who's the other 30%? They're gang members, may not have a criminal history. They're national security threats. Most of them don't have a criminal history because they lay low waiting to do the bad deed. And the rest of them are final orders. These are people who had due process at great taxpayer expense. A federal judge said you must leave, and they became a fugitive. We're going to find them. We're going to remove them. We're going to send a message to the whole world. It's not okay to enter this country illegally. It's a crime. It's certainly not okay to ignore a federal judge's order to leave. Because the message we're not going to send to the whole world is, enter the country illegally, don't worry about it, even though it's a crime. Show up in court or don't show up in court, get a final order, don't worry about it. No one's looking for you. No. The reason we're out there so hard right now, we're sending the whole world a notice that there are consequences. That's part of the reason why we have the most secure border in the nation's history now. The Border Patrol is doing a great job. The infrastructure is great. But it's also the consequences of those who got by, sending them home. That also makes our border more secure.
Tom, real quick, when someone like Governor Tim Walz, calls ICE the Gestapo, what does he really want to happen to them?
It's a ridiculous statement for anybody that tried to run for an office in the White House. It's ridiculous. What I want to tell him and the rest of them, you're not going to stop us. Then what happened in San Francisco, you're not going to stop us. You can come out and protest all you want, but if you cross the line, you're going to be prosecuted. I looked at the numbers on Thursday. The numbers of criminal prosecutions for those who impede and interfere are already double of any previous year. And I think we're probably going to triple it by the end of the fiscal year, which ends in another 6 weeks. So you're not going to stop us. We're going to continue doing what the American people voted President Trump in office to do. I wake up every morning proud to work for the greatest president of my lifetime. President Trump proves to the American people every single day why he's the greatest president. Look what he's done to Washington, D.C. Look at the crime dropping in Washington, D.C. He's going to make that the beacon for the entire world. The capital of the strongest and the most beautiful country in the world should be a beacon for everybody. So we're going to make D.C. safe again. We're already doing it. And President Trump's going to take that message across the country. He's going to make America safe again, one illegal alien at a time, one city at a time, one state at a time.
Tom, Gianno Caldwell here. Thank you for keeping us all safe. An Obama-appointed judge is ruling that Alligator Alcatraz cannot add new illegals and must dismantle the facility within 60 days. But Florida has a backup plan, opening another detention center called Deportation Depot. This comes as a surge of new detention facilities in other states, such as Speedway Slammer in Indiana and Cornhusker Clinker in Nebraska. So my question is, Tom, are you concerned about the resistance shutting down other detention facilities for illegals across the country?
Well, I think I appreciate the governor stepping up. We need those beds. I think they're more the soft-sided facilities, more transition beds. I personally think we need more brick and mortar infrastructure. That's, again, it's going to last for decades. That can't be easily torn down. But I appreciate these governors coming and putting up these temporary structures. Let me tell you something about Alligator Alley. I was there. I mean, I was there because I kept getting asked questions about the inhumane conditions down there. I went there and looked at for myself. I walked through the housing areas. I walked through the medical. I talked to the nurses in the medical. I went to the cafeteria and looked at the food they're preparing from every day. And I talked to the people who kept the books on, the pastors coming in and priests coming in and giving religious meetings to the illegal aliens. Because I was told that wasn't happening. I went down there and I saw a facility that was well built, that was well maintained, very clean, and a high detention standard. So this judge who made this ruling, did they go and look at the facility? They actually walk through and talk to the personnel there? Did he look at there is no danger to the environment because all the waste, all the garbage is removed out of that area every single day? Nothing's dumped there. And they're existing on an airfield that was already built. The concrete was already there. And they're putting up temporary facilities around that. I went there. I didn't see a single problem with it. And I think this judge made a decision without knowing all the facts. I think in the long run, they'll win. They'll have to appeal it. But I went to that facility. I didn't see a single thing wrong with the facility.
Border Czar Tom Homan, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your service, and we wish you well.
Thanks, Griff.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.